Oh, hey, Martin. How are you?
Oh, here we are. Oh, I guess I got to play an intro song, right?
Oh,
hold
man.
on, hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Hold
I wish
on.
the TV was on.
No. Where
So you could
are
watch
we
the TV
here?
through the podcast.
Lost
so I
in
could
space
watch
and
the
time for over
podcast.
10,000
Actually, that's
years
something I'm
on a mission they were never meant to return from.
We're playing it.
They have returned
Let's go.
It is.
from the horrible
We
secrets
don't
of
have the audio.
space. They are the Comic Shop.
Joe fixed it. It's broken. Joe fixed it, so now it's broken.
Is it over?
Oh, I think it's over. Aaron, introduce us.
Welcome to the Swigo Comic Shop. It does a podcast with me, Papa Z. Lee.
Oh, I am Evan, sitting in the chair for Lucas Brewer today. Shout out to Lucas Brewer. He set us all up, and then everything just broke, so I've been trying to reset everything. And then we're also here with another special guest. Not that. Oh, man, where are we?
I'm Martin, and I am here against my will.
Oh, God. What a disaster. A disaster of a podcast already.
I really wish Teresa would have just grounded you tonight.
Yeah.
Me?
Well,
No, that would just be me and Evan, and no one wants that.
oh, God. Martin, how are you?
I'm alive.
Yeah, what's going on?
Not much, not much. Just, been busy walking around with some moody music behind me.
Moody music.
Yeah,
Who's Moody?
moody. Like, it's traveling music.
With a duffel bag,
I had my duffel bag.
just skipping down that dirt road.
Yep, wearing my purple pants.
Oh, gosh, none of our camera stuff's working tonight. It's kind of like it's choppy back and forth, but Lucas, I miss you, man. He set all of our cameras up. Everything was working. Everything crashed. I had to reset everything, so we're running a very rudimentary stream. I'm just
You're
going to see if
still
our...
able to get to Martin.
Wait. You don't normally run a rudimentary?
No, normally...
Oh, wow.
Normally it's the cream of the crop, highest end. I'm just going to see if our document camera works here. I guess it does. Okay. Gosh, even the touchpad's not being very responsive tonight. Maybe I just haven't done this in a while, but we're
Maybe-
missing Lucas tonight.
Maybe it just likes Lucas's touch better.
He does have soft hands.
It does. It's very soft hands.
The nickname around the shop, we call him Baby Skins because he's got the hands of a baby.
So
Very
smooth.
soft and supple. You know,
Supple,
you've got
that's
a
a
baby.
perfect
That poor guy.
That's creepy. Actually, I'm sorry.
No,
I do have a baby.
It wasn't creepy.
Aaron, how's your week going?
It's going pretty good. Had a pretty decent Monday, wrapping up the projects with the 7th and 8th graders, starting something new tomorrow.
What is it?
Doing some Georgia O'Keeffe-inspired landscapes, as well as
Ooh.
some radial sunflower.
Martin, do you know Georgia O'Keeffe?
Not personally.
But you probably know her intimately from her flower drawings that look like lady parts.
That is true. That is true.
Well, actually, that's...
Wait,
that-
what are you teaching these kids?
No, that... I don't have that in any of my lesson, but but
is that a
actually,
no-
Georgia O'Keeffe never intended for that to be the message of her paintings.
Is that true?
It just so happened that she was a woman, so that like people looked at her paintings and they were like,
Oh,
"Oh, it
really?
looks like this," and she's like, sometimes a flower can be." That's why she started painting like cityscapes. Because
really?
because nobody
Wow.
could
And here we are perpetuating that.
conflate that it was about something else. But of course you could, absolutely, but.
I really thought that was part of, like, not to be, I guess I am a little bit ignorant, but I really thought that there was like a not feminism, but feminine quality to what she was doing.
I mean, I'm certain there is. I mean, but it wasn't explicitly that. I think she's more interested in the form and color rather than have it be something that's explicitly feminine. Because early on in her career, she was in a relationship with Alfred Stieglitz, who was a really famous photographer who had a gallery in New York City, and he really loved her work, and then like ultimately ended up like marrying her. But he did these photographs of her that, not family friendly photographs, but he ended up showing them in his gallery, and so by doing that, he kind of changed her narrative to have it be focused on like very feminine stuff, and so after that point, she kind of couldn't shake that angle of her work. Although maybe later on when she did like the animal skulls and did the sculptures and like lived out in the American West.
I always picture her as an American West artist. Was she somewhere else before?
I mean, I'm about to do the lesson again.
Sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I think she started out in the Midwest, then went to New York City, and then discovered the Southwest, like Arizona.
That's
New
where I picture
Mexico.
Georgia O'Keeffe as like Southwest, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she started visiting for longer and longer every year until she was like, I'm just gonna move.
I'm not leaving.
I'm gonna move to New Mexico, and she stayed there until she passed away. And she was pretty old too, and she's switched over to sculpture actually because her eyesight like started to fail, so she started doing
Really?
sculpture. I was talking to the other art teacher in my building the other day, and I said Georgia O'Keeffe is kind of the Swiss Army knife of art history.
How she wanted to be billed. I heard that before she passed away, she goes, I hope in my obituary it reads, I am the Swiss Army knife.
Well, here's the
I
thing.
perform all tasks poorly, but I can perform all tasks.
Well, I
She
think
will
I
open
think-
that wine
I
bottle.
think she does a nice job with all. But if I wanted to do cityscapes, Georgia O'Keeffe did that. If I want to do flowers, she did that. If I want to do animal skulls, she did that. If I want to do landscapes, she did it. There's 4 bites at the apple of Georgia O'Keeffe.
Noted apple eater.
I couldn't think of a joke.
Oh, and Martin, you've been working on some stuff today for us. We've got not a weird event coming Wednesday, but
Could be weird. I don't know.
It could be weird.
I've never seen Harry Potter.
Weird-
never read
weird-
Harry
weird
Potter.
Wednesdays?
It could be
it's a weird event Wednesday.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain what that is? Or
Well, our good friend Tessa Smith, who's been on the podcast before, Mama's Geeky.
shout out to Tessa Smith.
Is there a shout out going on that I can't talk
There
over?
is. No, you can
Okay.
You can talk over. It's just a real quick thing.
She is partnering up with Warner Brothers to do a special preview screening of Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore.
Secrets, not secret. Like I had in
Secrets, that's
half
right.
of my email.
The one secret of Dumbledore.
So a whole bunch of people are going to enjoy a nice screening of the movie. There's going to be some red carpet stuff with us, and just a good time.
A good time.
time.
Will be had.
She's a nice lady.
She's I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if we can hit the button for that one. Ooh. I'm trying to think what I got going on. So I picked up we're doing a red carpet event for this thing. Our red carpet has been sitting at Larry Miller's gym since December. Because we sponsored his ultra marathon that I ran 7 miles in. Yeah, go me.
You're no Brian Steffen.
No Brian Steffen. But we brought our backdrop there for some photo shoot stuff because we sponsored some of it. And it's been sitting there for the past 3 months. So I grabbed that today. And
Rent free.
rent free. Thanks. Shout out to Larry Miller.
It's a nice
And
lady.
yeah, I don't know. Actually, not that you guys care at all, but I made a joke about a piece of gym equipment. I was like, "You got one of these you can sell to me?" And he goes, "Actually, I do in the back." And he showed me something. It was like very cheap and reasonable. And I'm like, "Ooh!" So I'm going to go back there next week to his gym and probably buy a piece of gym equipment. So
There you go.
shout out to Larry Miller.
So every once in a while, I just want a lat pull down machine. Like I just miss that and like back extensions.
Yeah.
You ever feel like you just want to do a few of those, a few lat pull downs, a few back
You
extensions?
just want to stretch your back out, right?
I-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, getting a lat pull down machine for a home gym is very expensive because I've looked
Oh,
into that
man.
as well. That it's like
they could even be resistance bands.
that's true. That's true.
Or you could hold a dog and a baby upside down.
That's not the same.
Oh, okay.
It's true.
I think it might be.
Might
Are
be.
you guys doing anything coming up?
Oh yeah.
Like on the 2nd or something?
Yes, there's the Rochester Independent Comics Expo
Expo.
coming up.
Rochester.
Independent Comics Expo.
live?
Not Irondequoit.
It's not around Decoy.
It's Rochester.
April 2nd, there's also a kickoff event.
At the Strong Museum of Play, I believe.
Not the Weak Museum, the Strong.
Strong Museum.
Strong like Hulk.
They have
So
like 10
strong like
they,
Hulk.
they have like 10 lat pull down machines at the Strong Museum, I heard.
Oh, I would love that.
They
I would,
smash.
I would just be listening and just be like, wow.
It's the reason you're going, isn't it?
No. But it's Saturday, April 2nd, 2022, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Sibley Square, which is 240 East Main Street, Rochester, New York, 14604. And I will be tabling there. I don't know where just yet, but they're going to have me up there.
How many different vendors do you think are people are going to be tabling at this event?
They build it as 30 plus comics vendors, plus I think like 4 to 6 independent video game developers.
Should bring Joe next time.
I think that's what they're trying to build. I think they're trying to do a little bit like a PAX or like a comic thing with like a backdoor PAX application.
A little backdoor application. All right.
I didn't talk. Did you hear
All
that?
right,
Didn't
very
talk.
good. What did we watch?
Ouch.
What did we watch this week?
So this week we watched Trial of the Incredible Hulk, the 1989 made-for-television movie starring Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno.
And some guy who played Daredevil.
Who did play
Yeah, who
Daredevil?
I don't know.
Let me Wikipedia
Rex
save me now.
Smith. Rex Smith. Rex Smith. Aaron.
Rex
It's Rex
Smith.
Smith.
Is it Rex Smith?
It's Rex Smith.
Rex Smith.
Trial of the Incredulous Hulk. I've got it right here in front of you too, by the way.
I didn't get a
I
paper.
feel like I'm
so-
doing more by typing it in and looking at
Lucas
the
always
Wikipedia.
gets a paper. Sure, Alex does too,
Nope, I
but
just
not
messed up-
Martin.
just messed up the camera there.
It's
too.
okay. No one's wanting to see.
It's
that
really there's really no information on the sheet. It's actually pretty useless. That's why I printed it out. But
Directed by Bill Bixby.
camera. Yes.
directed by Bill Bixby. I thought that was interesting.
I think he did.
He's a producer too.
I think he did a lot of or some television directing before he passed away.
Did he pass away?
Yeah.
He's passed,
90s.
been passed away for a while.
He didn't seem that old.
1993,
cancer.
he
Yeah,
died around the
cancer.
same time
He was
as
born in 1934, so he was a little older. All right.
around the same time as Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Really?
It's so funny. I teach about Bob Ross, and the kids are like, "Oh, he's still alive, right?" And it's like,
Nope. He is fertilizing a happy tree.
That was a good one. I should have laughed harder at that. I don't know why my mic. I feel like I keep adjusting the levels, and my mic's really loud, and everybody else is really.
he just laughed really quietly. The mic was just turned way down for laughter.
It
Only.
was his normal tee.
There's a modulation.
Oh, because I think I'm on Lucas's mic, and Lucas's mic is typically I turn way up
Oh, okay.
because he's kind of a low,
'Cause he's a
low
little
talker.
Yeah.
Low talker. So
Aaron, what do we think? What'd you think?
overall,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot I responded to that I really liked because I was just talking to Martin a little bit before we started about.
He was not. He's lying.
No, I would never speak to Martin.
We don't talk.
We don't talk anymore.
We don't even look at each other
don't.
until we go to the podcast, and then
Yep.
and then we just tolerate each other for however long the podcast lasts.
Do not like him.
But
the trick is just don't look him in the eyes.
It's
that's why I've started wearing the Geordie LaForge visor off camera. I find it very difficult to see, but as long as I don't have to see Martin, it works out.
I understand completely.
But anyway, okay.
What was I saying?
What do I think
I
about?
don't know. Just where do we start? I actually I have never seen this before. I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a couple cornball moments, but I think that's what you get when you're watching a 1989 made-for-TV superhero
Yep.
movie.
Yeah.
But I thought it held up rather well.
There was a
Yes.
story.
There was
Yeah.
a story. It had a climactic. I know it was good. And I liked the use of the Hulk. That the use of the Hulk was actually a little bit more not subtle. There were certainly restrained. Maybe is a better word. Where he even in the climax of the film, really, it's not the Hulk that
No.
prevails. It's more. I was going to say Bruce Banner, but David Banner.
Which I think they did kind of in the comics too. Because remember, the Hulk wouldn't transform.
Yeah.
Or in the movie.
In the movie.
Yes.
movies, the Hulk wouldn't come in to save the day, so it was kind of up to Bruce to save the day. But I remember what I was going to say before I got thrown off track here was the Mighty Marvel Marathon on the Sci-Fi.
Oh, yes,
Channel.
yes.
That's where I first saw this because I wasn't watching this as a 4-year-old in 1989. But
I probably did watch it live.
well,
I'm elderly.
well, when I finally got around to it, I was watching like the Nick Fury show on TV and
Yeah,
Generation X on TV.
Gen X.
But I think like this is also around the same time as like Highway to Heaven. You know the Michael Landis show.
Michael
Like
Landon.
Landon. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah. Sorry. But it has that similar vibe to it where like there's a drama to it. There's a sadness to it. But there's also a wholesomeness to it that I feel like is missing from maybe a lot of the media that we consume nowadays.
Martin, that begs the question: did this first appear on CBS? I feel like that's where Highway to Heaven would appear.
No,
on
I think
CBS.
this was. Is this?
I have no
Oh, I don't know,
I'm
actually.
just making it up because I feel like that's a very CBS of the late '80s, early
Although I
90s
think
thing
Highway to
too.
Heaven was NBC.
Was it really?
No clue.
I have
I'm
no
gonna
idea.
I'm gonna commit to it though.
All right, I will too.
I say NBC for Highway to Heaven.
Definitely. And we don't fact check here on the podcast.
Nope.
So, although
Nope.
Aaron's going immediately to
It's a
fact,
fact check. Just tell me I'm right. I like being right.
Martin, what was your first impression of you said you hadn't seen it before?
I probably had seen it. It was vaguely familiar to me in parts, but I would have been, a youngster. Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna do this.
Boom.
That was actually good, Aaron.
Good job. Good
Yeah.
use of sound. Finally, the first time ever. Mark it on the podcast. This is the first time a good sound effect was used.
All right. Well, shout out to that. We got two different. We got dueling sound effects now.
Yes. Oh God.
Good lord.
But,
Somebody's wife in the podcast chat is asking, how about General Hospital?
what about
That's ABC. What about
what
it?
about it?
I don't know. There's no context.
I
there
have
to that.
no
No,
knowledge of
to my
General
knowledge, no one in this movie was on General Hospital. From my perspective, I could be wrong because that would predate my normal gameplay.
Now,
for that,
this is
but
something that's recently come on my radar. Is that
no pun intended.
Martin is
Oh,
a notable expert when it comes to the cast of General Hospital?
I just remember people who've been on there after watching for a billion decades,
Yeah. A billion. So
billion decades.
You really are.
like since the '90s up through the beginning of the 2000s.
That's at least a billion decades
That's
old.
basically what it is.
And again, somebody's wife in the chat just says, "Thank you, Martin." So
No problem. You're welcome
For what?
we don't know.
for saying that. Probably nobody who was a primary cast member of this movie was also on General Hospital.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong though.
It doesn't look like Bill Bixby was on General Hospital.
No, he's too good for that.
Yeah, it did at times. It definitely had like a local community theater kind of vibe to it, especially like the
The
lighting.
bedroom scene, yeah.
Yes, but they didn't.
The bedroom. Oh, when Daredevil's like injured, you're saying?
No. When
The drama.
when the victim lady is being talked to by the
Oh.
sort of nice bad guy.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, my wife says thank you, Martin, thank you for existing.
We're
Wow.
gonna strike that from the chat.
What happened?
Strike
Do you-
that from the record.
Is that her calling out for help as a secret code? Like someone has invaded your home and this is how she's trying to get our attention?
Oh
Blink.
gosh, I hope not.
Blink twice if you're being held hostage.
Lucy will fight him off. She'll use her sonic scream.
Trial of the Incredible Hulk. Where are we? Let's start with Hulk has been on the run.
Yes.
He's apparently in the Northeast. I don't specifically think that they call the city New York City.
It's not New York City.
It's actually filmed in Vancouver.
Of course,
But
because-
because everything's well. Actually, I didn't realize. I thought filming in Vancouver was a more modern thing, but apparently that's been going on forever.
Since
Oh yeah,
since
it's
the
like,
80s.
It's like L.A. but cheaper.
Used to film the X Files there too. I think that's when I first
Yeah.
became aware of people would film in Vancouver.
they did.
But Bill Bixby, David Banner on the run, doing like hard labor at some
Yes.
kind of farm or
with some
plantation.
awkwardly bullying coworkers and the boss lady who was really flirty.
Yeah. She.
But I think that the opening scene with the coworker bullying him kind of shows the level of control he now has over the Hulk.
Which I
thought-
think ties into your point of, the more modern Avengers and MCU movies where, yes, that's the whole thing is
Yeah.
Banner's trying to control his rage.
And this is kind of late stage TV Hulk too. So like he's gone through
The end, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is the very.
Is there
last.
one more or is that it?
I think that's it.
I think that might be it.
Okay.
Because it was a Return to the Incredible Hulk with Thor, and then there was this one. And I don't think Bill Bixby did anything other than that. And then he passed
He
away
passed
in
away probably.
'93. So yeah, but I think Bill Bixby does a great job acting in this too, and he's also the
agree.
director. Like the script feels mostly right.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the characters feel right.
One major exception being anything Kingpin involved.
So you did not like King.
Oh, I did not like that at all. No, I
What-
liked his glasses. I wish I could have a pair.
He
of
seemed a bit too
sweet-
needy to be Kingpin.
And like that whole I gotta film this and I'm Mysterio type thing.
Something I brought up with Evan the other day when I was talking about this. You've got Daredevil, who's the blind superhero, can't see anything. So I think what they were trying, the director or like somebody had the idea. Okay, it's like we need to have contrast, right, with our hero and our villain. Hero can't see anything. Villain sees everything.
Which I kind of liked Aaron's take on that. That
Yeah,
like
yeah.
cameras everywhere. Even you said the glasses, you liked the glasses. Like even the reflection in the glasses was showing things like what you were saying. That's a little bit Sankovic-y, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like it more ties into your. He's got eyes everywhere, and because that's where he's calling all these shots
Yeah.
from these mysterious.
And
Even though he's still kind of in the room for a lot of these things.
Yeah, he's
like,
still. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just a little. Okay, I guess the cameras weren't so bad. The directing of Kingpin himself, Kingpin directing things was kind of annoying and just.
Yeah, like in a swivel chair. Does the chair really need to?
Yeah,
It was a
his-
very what's it? Dr. Evil. Type,
Yeah, Austin Power. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yes, you're right. Austin
Where
Power.
we're like,
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, it's still a TV movie, a superhero TV movie from the '80s. And I thought his voice was good for the role. And we were talking
Yeah.
a little bit about Well, I was saying that I would have liked it to be a bit more comic accurate, like if they had just like had him clean shaven with a with the bald head, like the classic Wilson Fisk we all know.
Which apparently the John Rice Davies,
yeah.
who was Wilson Fisk, I guess when he showed up on set, they offered to get him a bald cap, to which he said, "No, I will shave my head." To which they said there was like some back and forth about it, and then they said, "No, don't shave your head, keep your hair." So I think at least the little trivia thing that I read said that he offered to shave his head, and the studio, whoever's producing it, said no, which seems it doesn't bother me. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of an odd choice. That is kind of a. I mean, it's a good look being a bald man.
Yes.
I mean,
Some people really can work that look
that's why I'm
very
wearing
well.
a hat right now.
Others put on a Bills hat.
I did that when I was on the swim team in high school.
Yeah,
It worked out fine.
you went bald Eagle Jones.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you do that at the end of the season when you make sectionals. I did that. Did that a few years in a row. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very Joe.
It's also fun to like just
Yep,
do the one side first. You ever do that?
No.
Or so then like you have like the full head of hair from this side, and then this side is just like totally bald. It's it's like when you grow out your beard and then like you annoy the people around you by first like just shaving the chin, and then just the Fu Manchu, and then you erase the mustache and you just have, I call them snake bites. It's like the little bit.
What if you just keep the mustache and get rid of everything else?
You're a pedophile.
I mean, Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
Not a pedophile. He was not a
What?
pedophile. That's not why he was on trial.
So goes to the city. Leaves the rural landscape. I need to go to the city. Why does he need to go to the city? Was that ever established? Like why he?
He just needs to leave the country to get away from Flirty Lady.
Yeah, she
But,
was
like-
coming on pretty strong. He's like, I'm going to the city. She clearly does not like the city. This is where I'm going to hole up in a.
I feel
really
like if you're trying to
bad
control
apartment.
your emotions and you want to, like, you would want to get away from people, that seems kind of contradictory to me. That you would want to go to a place where there's like just tension and a million people, and you're poor, and you're like, that just would add to the stress of the situation. I feel
Well, I
like.
think an important thing you're missing is the fact that the Kingpin was in New York or was in the city, so they kind of had to get him to a skyscraper. So it's just like, I'm going to go. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, maybe he's just looking to like lose himself in the crowd of people and be more anonymous. Whereas
Which-
maybe some people might recognize him.
I could go with that. I guess that makes sense. I also kind of feel like it doesn't.
It's it's a very odd choice for someone who is trying to not be annoyed by people.
Let's talk about that subway scene then, where there's a nice lady who is accosted. Oh, actually, I guess first there's the little jewelry theft thing.
Yeah,
What do we
yeah.
think about the jewelry theft scene? I thought it was all right until the end, when they're outside of the building and they pass the bag of jewels back and forth between three
Nine
people
times,
within
like, in between 4 feet.
within 5 feet.
Yeah,
of
there was
gas.
I'm like, that's not why you would do that.
Yeah, you would
It's-
have somebody go down the block or so,
Yeah.
and then give it like, but they're
I did
doing
I
it-
did like it all though.
Okay.
I loved it just in that kind of the wholesome heist way that kind of like what Aaron was talking about earlier, where it was kind of fun to watch them go through all that.
And like that one guy was so excited to be the exuberant
Yeah.
criminal.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, I got this great role. It's in the Hulk. I get to be a crime guy. And he's just so excited to rob a jewelry store. And then later he pops up again too with the romance criminal.
Yes.
the romance criminal.
We learned no one's names. We
Names aren't
let's see if it's
important.
on the list. All romance. No,
Did they even make the list?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Al Pettyman,
Oh, Al Pettyman, you can cram it.
Ooh.
Department Chief Albert Tendelli. He's the one. He's the Commissioner Gordon of
Yes.
He is.
of Nameless City.
Yes.
Is that a little bit too Batman-y?
Well, they use a cell phone and not a bat signal, so I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did kind of.
There's like
So-
no evil Knievel shadow up in the.
But
Sky.
there is a lot of Batman and Daredevil for different components, like the fighting against corruptions. I mean, especially in like the Frank Miller stuff. Yeah, but that didn't bother me so much. Although I I can forgive a lot. Like if the script can set up the plot, like Like even if it's not great writing, but it's like, oh, I see what they're doing there. Okay, connects. Like when Tendelli comes out in front of City Hall, and it's like, if only there was somebody who they couldn't buy off, pay off, or
Okay.
kill off.
I'll tell you what'll solve
Some
this
kinda-
problem. A few good cops.
And somebody who's a daredevil.
And that was really, I love the light bulb that literally went on above
yeah.
Matt Murdock's head at that point. It
Yeah.
was like, ding. It was,
Is it the best writing? No, but it's clear, and sometimes clear is better than good.
like you said, it was a little bit like there were some hokey moments in there. One
Yeah.
you said, and then yeah, that was one of them.
So they rob the jewelry store. They're on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Bixby Banner is there. The transformation. That's the first transformation, right?
That was a good one. I thought it was pretty good.
Martin, you're saying otherwise, or
I just saw it and thought, bless them. Just that the shoe rip,
they did the shoe rip 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought, like, that's just so. I don't remember that. Did they used to do that for the TV show?
I
as
honestly
well?
don't
yeah.
remember.
Oh yeah.
had I prepared for this, I would have actually watched one episode of the old series. Jack Lee could tell us.
I remember because I rented the VHS of the Incredible Hulk TV show from like Red's Video a million years ago. I remember
The
it, too.
shoe rip, though, it was they went back and back to the shoe rip, which is just like the dumbest effect. But they also can't show his hand increasing in size
Right.
without being corny. He always ducks down and then comes up and look, I'm Lou Ferrigno now. The shoe is kind of a cheesy way of showing that he's growing, but like it's just a weird, silly. There's got to be a better way. And to do it over and over was kind of
Didn't bother me that much.
Well, I don't know.
I knew what I was getting
You-
into when I watched the thing because
Were you watching it being like, that's a perfectly good pair of shoes. What are you doing?
no, I'm not a. I love the destruction of shoes, especially if they're expensive sneakers. That
Oh gosh,
Air Force Ones.
So anyway, Hulk busts out of his shoes, busts some heads. Cops chase him down a tunnel, which apparently, as he's running down the tunnel, you can see some of the prosthetics start to fall off of the Hulk, which I did not
really?
see.
I didn't notice that. I was watching.
I didn't notice
His
it either,
nose?
but again, I was looking at like little notes later on, and apparently that's one of the little gaffes in the movie is that as he's running, some of the prosthetics are falling off. Which, although, at the same time, I was curious, like, what prosthetics are on Lou Ferrigno? He looks like he's just painted green
There's
to me.
if you have watched the Mr. Rogers episode when they go behind the scenes of the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mr. Rogers had some prosthetic on. I was like, I don't even want to know what that is.
Mr. Rogers hulked out every episode. What are you talking about? Did you never watch it, Evan?
He doesn't just take off the sweater.
He's
he
like,
rips out
"Rrrr."
and he rips out of his shoes too. I don't
He
know.
does. He does. That's why he's got to change them.
That's right. That's right.
Who knew?
But they go behind the scenes. He's got a forehead, I think, application.
Yes. Okay,
Maybe
you're right.
that-
Yep.
maybe
yep.
that's what
He's
it
got
was.
the
They said
nose.
was flopping. Was the forehead thing was
like blowing in the breeze.
Yeah.
He's got the nose, teeth. I'm not sure what else. I mean, the hair,
Yeah.
obviously. That kind of weird.
$7 wig.
The hair is terrible.
Is it a mullet? What like even? But Dr. Banner has a weird mullet in this too.
Well,
The
time
Hulk,
period.
the Hulk hair is terrible.
It's always been. Yeah. It's.
Was it that bad in the TV show too?
I think so.
it's
I think
just
it
might
so-
have been
That's like a
worse.
joke that they always I think made was that he had like just the world's cheapest wig on.
It really does. It really looks so cheap. That took me out of the moment more than anything else at certain points in time. Was like, gosh, that's such a weird head of hair that they gave the Hulk. And Lucas Brewer just says, "Hey now." We'll say, "Hey now." Shout out to Lucas Brewer. Lucas, I was saying
Is the dream over?
I was saying
Hey
earlier,
now,
Lucas, I
hey.
appreciate you. You set everything up video-wise, and then everything crashed about 5 minutes before we actually decided to launch. So I did my best to put it back together here. But
I feel like this haircut, the Hulk haircut, might be popular again.
It is. It's coming
like-
back.
is it?
I feel like I see some people that look like this.
Yes. It's trending.
The
No, I
Hulk-
have seen that kind of like.
hashtag Hulk hair.
Let's talk about Matt Murdock for a minute. Introduction to Matt Murdock.
Because this was his pilot.
This was the what did you say? It was a backdoor
Yeah,
pilot.
backdoor
A lot
pilot
of
there.
backdoor stuff in
Yep.
this TV show here.
Ouch.
Oh, hi, Lucas.
The issue I have with the Matt Murdock introduction is the first thing you see with Matt Murdock is he's getting dressed to go to the law
Yeah, it's
office.
his 9 to 5 moment.
It's his 9 to 5 moment, and the box of shoes falls off of the top shelf, and he just can't catch it. And I'm thinking, oh, that's such a bad introduction to like he has superpowers. He has superpowers, but like a
It's
shoebox
first
falls,
thing in the morning, though. Maybe
Oh,
maybe it's not wakey enough.
and then he gets to the office, and the first thing he does is trip over a box in the office, which I'm not sure if you caught that.
It's a Dick Van Dyke moment. You got to keep up that.
Oh, he's tripping over the ottoman.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't. I guess I missed that. The shout out to Dick
Dick
Van
Van
Dyke.
Dyke.
At least he didn't turn up new metal as he
So
woke
is that
up.
our oldest reference of the podcast so far?
Dick
is
Van
Dick
Dyke?
Van Dyke? Like, I know we've had a couple old things that the youngins aren't going to get. Lucas, hi.
Lucas was asking, was Matt Murdock a hunk? Do we think Matt Murdock was a hunk?
I don't know. I mean, on a show with the Incredible Hulk, next to him, you're not going to be the hunk. Sorry.
He was doing a little bit of gymnastics at one point, which
Is that-
lends
Yeah.
to hunkiness. But I feel like, you can't out hunk the Hulk, right?
You can't out hunk the Hulk. That's going to be our pitch to Marvel.
You can't out hunk the Hulk. Somebody write that down. That was one of my better ones.
It's going to be like one of those like pageants. Like, Contest of Champions? It's going to be that, but instead it's going to be a pageant of all the muscle-bound heroes.
So earlier today, I said to myself, "Oh no, Lucas isn't going to be here. It's just going to be Aaron and Evan. I should watch this movie really quick and come on board." That was a choice. That was a choice.
It was a
And now,
choice.
and now you're here.
Yep, I'm trapped.
Tell us about your impressions, Aaron. Tell us about your impressions of Daredevil, or Matt Murdock at the beginning.
Would you sleep with him?
Well,
as a friend?
No, number one, no.
Okay, so he's not hunky enough for you. There's your answer, Lucas. Not a hunk.
But I mean, they made him a bit more doofy, I think, in this. But I don't know. I think there's a likability in the doofiness. Like, it's also 1989, and they're hoping to get a TV show. Your protagonist cannot be 100% hard edge because you need to go into like the comedy and drama of a character because you don't have money to do a pure action.
Plus, you want
serious.
room for growth.
Yes, yeah, and we were talking about that too, about how they didn't have Karen Page and Foggy in there.
Supposedly, again in the notes that I read, there's a character that appears in the background, and this was again a backdoor pilot for a future Daredevil thing, and I believe they implied that character was Foggy or would become Foggy, but I don't know why that wasn't explained. And again, who knows? It could just be a character that they named Foggy in the script,
Yeah,
but
just
really
for-
he's just in the background doing nothing.
Or maybe they were going to reveal those characters as that show
Progressed.
happened. And be like, oh, episode 3, that's when Foggy gets there. And that's when the show gets really good. Because back then, they made 20, 30 episodes a season. So they needed some room to progress. They couldn't just do everything all at once. I liked Matt Murdock. I liked his Daredevil. The fight sequences were somewhat limited, but, who knows
That's what you're gonna get. It's
It's funny. I thought the training sequence where he was doing all the gymnastics and stuff looked really good, and
Yeah.
then the fight sequences were like, that's.
I did like the lighting, like especially when they get to the showdown of that stuff.
When they're rescuing the woman.
The woman, yeah,
Yeah.
like the very very much stage lighting, but that worked for me. I feel like
Well, it took place on a movie.
Movie sounds-
soundstage.
yeah.
Very convenient.
which yeah.
It reminded me of. Did you ever see that commercial about
No.
that Spider-Man did to like you should vote, and he's like upside down, and then like he spins around a little bit. It's like just him on a ceiling, pretty much.
What Spider-Man is this?
I mean, we don't even know who played this guy. It's that old. But it was
have
it,
no
it
idea
was
what he
on the
saw. Yeah.
VHS of Pride of the X-Men, the
Okay.
animated. You know what I'm talking about now?
I do. You should explain to Lucas what a VHS is, though.
It's like a UHF, but not.
UHF is not anything.
Yeah, I know.
No, I
I'm
don't.
just using letters.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's a tape that you put into something that can receive visual information, and you play it back on something called a VCR.
It's primitive Stone Age technology.
Yabba dabba doo.
I think I had a VHS of Blade. That might have been my last VHS.
Wow.
It was 98.
We mentioned there was no Foggy. There was a character in there that was named the Turk.
Oh, Turk.
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it was
Yep,
Turk.
yep.
Is that a Daredevil character that I'm just blanking on? I don't know a ton of Daredevil. Is that really?
Oh, he's putting the.
Is it that embarrassing that I don't know who the Turk is?
A little.
I was watching it quickly. The bar they were in was that named at all?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
okay.
don't know if Josie. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if it was
didn't know if
Josie's
it
bar or
was.
not.
Okay.
I did. Was there a woman behind the counter? I can't remember that.
I don't even know if they
They
showed
didn't spend a
anybody
lot of
behind
time
the
in there.
counter.
No, but Turk is a character. He's like a low level criminal who becomes like he doesn't want to be an informant for Daredevil, but
But ends
Daredevil
up.
kind of targets him quite a bit.
Is that a regular thing? That again?
Oh yeah,
I bet I've read less than 10 Daredevil comics in my life. Yeah, just not a character I've ever been into.
Shame.
Should I leave?
no,
Okay. All right.
but I mean, if you read any of the Frank Miller stuff,
Yeah.
like I was really
Actually,
into
yeah,
the
oddly
Bendis
enough, I've
and
never-
Believe Daredevil. I think he was in that too.
No.
What?
No, go ahead.
Never read Frank Miller Daredevil.
I haven't read all of it because there's a lot of it, but
There
like,
is,
but you
yes.
got to read Born Again because that David Mazzucchelli on artwork, and it's by Frank Miller. That's a masterpiece. You got to at least read that.
So we're general consensus. No one knows who the Turk is.
I know I know who Turk is.
There was never a Turk in any comics, Aaron. I just made this all up for the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
He's like one of the classic guys that always gets thrown out through the front window pane of Josie's bar. Like that's the running gag inside the comic is that Daredevil shows up and wants information and Turk won't give it to him and he throws him out the window.
So they can talk.
Yes.
So he just keeps on
Private.
breaking this bar's window, and nobody has a problem with that.
No, they have a problem with it. I don't know if Daredevil compensates Josie or anything.
Or damage control comes by. Who knows?
Oh, damage control. See, that's,
Yeah.
I know damage control.
There
is.
you
I
go.
just don't know
Okay.
who the
Okay.
Turk
All
is.
right. He's redeemed himself.
Dwayne McDuffie, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good dude.
Lucas says he knows what a laserdisc is. Good for you. That's worse
For
than the,
you.
That's worse than the fact you haven't read Watchmen. Probably. Yes, leave. Sorry, I can't leave.
You haven't
Aaron's
read
in the
Watchmen
way.
either?
The Watchmen. No. The next thing you know, Evan will ask, "Who is Frank? Who is Frank Miller?"
He's a guy.
Used to write. Used to draw.
He still does a little bit of both,
He does not.
but not.
He
not a
attempts
ton.
to.
Yeah.
No offense. He's a great guy.
He's doing some different stuff. He seems like a warm personality, even though you would have to talk to him to get that out of him now. I think because now he does kind of look a little rough around the edges. with his-
We're just taking hits at Frank Miller right here.
his fedora.
He
hat.
looks like Alan Moore on a good day.
He is never going to make an appearance on the podcast now. We've ruined that.
Frank Miller was never coming to this podcast.
You don't
I can
know.
100% guarantee that. He's not somebody who doesn't go to would only go to like San Diego or something like that because he's that big.
Who's got a Peter Melnick puts up a picture every once in a while of him and Frank Miller, like he was shopping for comics somewhere downtown.
Oh,
and
and just ran into him?
Frank Miller was at like Midtown Comics and just like took a picture with him, which is kind of funny.
Supporting the
But,
little guys.
Lucas Barossa says, "Some may say I'm the Frank Miller of my generation," which tells you how your generation's going.
Let's see those drawings.
All right, do you want like?
But Daredevil. I liked I actually mostly liked the black costume. I like that it's had that. It did have that Netflix season 1 feel to it, and I really loved the radar effect that they used for Daredevil.
It's
Which
an early computer imaging type.
okay,
type
yeah,
look.
it was very simple, but
I
more
like-
effective than what I think they would have used, and I kind of like it.
I like
better
his,
than the Ben Affleck
Yeah.
one.
yeah, I liked his radar sense a lot too. Again, it just annoyed me though that the first thing you see is a bunch of shoes falling out of
Yeah,
the
and
closet,
it's-
and he can't react to that. Like, come on, man, you're fighting ninjas later on.
Or was it an act to like make people think that he?
But nobody was there. He's getting dressed by
Yeah.
himself.
That's true too.
Also, the cab driver escorting him to the cab was kind of awkward too.
I feel like that could just be an everyday thing though. That like,
Yeah, it was just like the cabbie was just being a little over the top.
I forget where I was in the city, like probably a decade ago. But there's like a whole big deaf community, deaf college or whatever. But I remember
in
like
RIT?
no, in New York City.
Okay.
And walking to meet my sister for lunch somewhere in Manhattan, I assume.
Busy.
And all of a sudden, it was like everybody is out on the street with those, the walking
cane
sticks,
canes,
whatever they are. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And it was so fascinating to watch, like, because it was literally
Oh, just
let's
all
say-
the interactions
Let's say
and
that there was
the-
let's say there was 100 people out in this block area, and let's say 30 or 40% of them were blind. Amazing to see the interactions of how people navigated in and out, or knew where everything was. Or could somehow have that Daredevil sense of like they knew or could hear people approaching and walking and just knew the sounds of the city in that block or two section that I walked through. I don't know, a random thought, but it was one of those odd things that I just remember walking into like maybe 10 years ago, trying to find a place where I was meeting my sister for lunch and like stumbled upon the blind community where everybody was just out doing everything, and but like there wasn't really like people escorting them or assisting them. It's like they were all just figuring it out. It's pretty cool.
There was some kind of reality show Teresa was having me watch once, like Amazing Humans or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but
One of the better ones.
yes, because I remember it, and I actually think this was pretty cool.
Was that the Stan Lee show?
It might have been the Stanley Show, or it might have been something else. I'm not sure exactly, but there was this young man who was blind, but he could ride a bicycle, and what he would do is he would make clicking sounds as he's riding his. I'm not kidding. He actually did this, and he would make those clicking sounds, and then he would hear like a little echo off of things like trees, or other people that were around. So it would let him know if he was going to run into anything.
I feel like I've seen that segment not with the bicycle, but with the kid walking down the street going,
Yes,
and like they would put obstacles. You know, the TV program put obstacles in his way to try to like injure the 12-year-old. But he just knew how to, because he would had like a little bit of an echolocation, like a bat sending out the sounds, and whatever reverberated back to him, he could kind of tell where things were. Either that or he was cheating and he wasn't really blind. But
Teresa's also started to watch a new reality show that I sat in on. It's called Pig Royalty. It's all about show pigs.
the trial of the Incredible Hulk.
Thank you.
So we have. Where are we? I don't even know.
Ferrigno. We've got.
Let's talk about Lou Ferrigno. Any comments on Lou Ferrigno? I mean, he's a big dude who kind of just flexes and tosses things around. But there's not much more beyond that, correct?
Yeah, he wasn't in it a whole lot.
No. Just that big courtroom scene.
Yeah, which
was
was all
all
A
a
dream
dream.
sequence. Spoilers. There's no trial. There's no trial.
Actually, Hulk does not go on trial during this.
There's
whole thing.
no
Very true.
legalese at all. It's, it's
Conceptually, he could have eventually been brought to trial
Yes.
for the. What was it? Assault on Ellie Mendez.
I feel like we're running out of time. Actually, if we want to talk a little bit of Hulk Grand Design.
just if you can watch the Daredevil movie or the Incredible Hulk movie, watch to the very end and see the escape attempt by Kingpin.
It's true.
It's very good.
Should we just spoil it?
Yeah.
That I mean, the whole movie is pretty grounded.
Yeah.
Like for what it is.
90s grounded.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Or late 80s grounded, like Dolph Lundgren Punisher grounded.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then was it romantic criminal and Wilson Fisk escape in a hovercraft that just zips through the city.
The city. Flying
And
hovercraft.
And it's so blue screen and miniature.
It's bad.
Like Daredevil does this little move, this a backflip to get away from this wall that's falling down on top of the little movie studio, and you're like, oh, it's some cool action's gonna happen, and the very next thing is just basically a boat, like a flying boat that Wilson Fisk and his buddy
The old duck boat that takes off.
it's just like, wait, this is how it's gonna end?
You mentioned Punisher. The Karen Page fill-in. I believe that actress was in the Punisher movie.
I think she was.
Ah.
It was the same year as well. It was 1989, same year.
Wow, she
So 2 Marvel movies.
got some Marvel money that year.
Well,
Yeah.
the old Marvel money, which is a couple
Well, it's
bucks.
the same thing. Marvel's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Unless you're Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Do we want to look at Hulk Grand Design? That was kind of our premise for today. Was we'll look at some old Hulk stuff and then talk about Hulk Grand Design that came in. What is
Yeah, let's
Grand
do it.
Design, Aaron? Tell us about the Grand Design
So
series. from
Grand
Marvel.
Design is a concept that was, I think, originally proposed by Ed Piskor to Marvel because he had done Hip Hop Family Tree. That's his major success, his breakthrough hit. He'd done other stuff before that, but that was the thing that really put him on the map, which is a comprehensive history of a thing. Hip hop being a genre of music that he went all the way back to the beginning and tried to cover all of the ins and outs of that genre.
And they like to smoke trees in hip hop, so it's Hip Hop Family Tree.
I'm sure you could make that connection for that too. But he went on Twitter. Oh my gosh.
Ooh. I got to download that one.
But he went on Twitter and just posted some fan art he did of X-Men. And he said, Marvel should just let me do whatever I want. And then he got in touch with Marvel, and they were like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to do the comprehensive history of the X-Men, because that's, for him, I think that's the only Marvel property that he really, really cares about a whole lot. And he's only a couple of years older than me, so, I mean, that makes sense, because, when the X-Men cartoon hit, that was, a huge deal.
Yeah.
And, that, I think that, I was already into comics, but I think that just, pulled me into comics with, no hope of escape. But, So since he did that, Tom Scioli, another friend from Pittsburgh, another cartoonist, did Fantastic Four Grand Design, which covered not the entire history of Fantastic Four, but a good chunk of it. And so now Jim Rugg is completing the holy trinity of the cartoonist kayfabe, doing the Grand Design, and he's choosing Hulk because he had a Hulk bowl growing up and liked the Hulk cartoon. Like out of all the Marvel characters, he has the most of a connection to the Hulk character. So that's
he had
why
a
he
Hulk
picked that.
what?
Like a
Bowl.
breakfast bowl.
Oh.
Oh,
I thought it was kind of back to Hip Hop Family Tree there for a second. I was like, I don't know.
I
about
thought he
that.
was asking an innocent question too, Aaron. We both fell for it.
Oh gosh, where's Lucas when you need him?
Right where he belongs.
So let's look at some of Hulk Grand Design. Actually, is on sale Wednesday. We've got
Oh,
a couple
yeah.
things that came in today. You want to hold that up, or do you want to go to the document camera here, or what do you want to do?
Oh, I was just gonna show off my cover that I picked out myself from you.
Oh, actually, let me go to your camera then. We can do that. Hulk Grand Design. It's a little dark. It's a little hard to see, but it's a darker cover, and it looks like we've got a.
That's a Marcos Martin
Can I-
cover.
Is that helping at all?
Oh, that's a little bit better. Yes, it's still a dark cover though, just a general.
Who's Marcos Martin working with nowadays? Is he doing anything with Brian K. Vaughan?
I don't know what he's actually up to.
I like his stuff.
I
though.
do too. I am a fan.
Okay,
From I think Daredevil.
Let's go to the document camera here, so we can check this stuff out here. Oh, we got to kind of flip it around here. I'm going to try to flip it.
Stop it, flip it, and I'll reverse it.
Oop.
Oh, I wanted to look at this earlier.
Look at that pink.
That's yours. That's you.
Jim Rugg is a big fan of the pink, as am I. I feel like that's just such a great color to use.
That is Aaron's issue, right? Right
All
from his
flip
box.
flip it around normally. Yeah, you can look at your way. There it is.
Hey.
Oh, but now it's backwards. Now we got to flip it.
it's the Incredible Honk.
The Incredible Honk.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, why does it keep doing that? Oh, Lucas, we miss you. Everything is just a disaster. Everything's so
This isn't doing
difficult.
too bad.
Oh.
There we go. All right.
Oh, look at that. We got some Jim Rugg, some
we
Sal
made it.
Buscema. Why? Captain
Captain
she's
Marvel?
binary.
Binary again. I'm sorry. I'm looking at ads and I shouldn't because it just annoys me.
Let's look at this though. This is on sale Wednesday.
Look at this
We've got
great,
some Hulk Grand Design.
Great title page taken off from what anniversary year was that? When the Marvel,
25th.
the 25th anniversary. when they
25th,
had,
right, Martin?
They had
Mhm.
all
Okay.
the covers, the Marvel 25th anniversary.
I said that with a
covers.
lot of confidence, and then I immediately thought, "Oh my
the
God, it's the
80s.
20th, and Martin's going to
Oh,
go."
we
down.
got
No.
we got some of my Doctor in there, Doctor
Well,
Strange.
now I'm questioning myself.
The original Wolverine costume in there. I'm pretty sure that's Sal Buscema, right? Or is that? It's got to be Sal, or is that Herb Trimpe? I don't know. But I love all these little references. That's another thing that's fun that Jim Rugg does. Is there's so many homages in every single page. Great little. Look at this title page. Amazing
that's
use of
great.
negative space. And the little intro. Caught in the heart of a nuclear explosion, victim of gamma radiation gone wild, Dr. Robert Bruce Banner now finds himself transformed in times of stress into 7 feet, 1,000 pounds of unfettered fury, the most powerful creature to ever walk the earth.
Look at the motion on Bruce Banner there. When there's really no motion going on, and all the motion is taking place, like
He is definitely being thrown in a nuclear.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll get some Rick Jones in this. I hope we do. Because Rick Jones is woefully not in a lot of the major adaptations. He's in the animated series, but I think that's it.
From the 90s.
Yes.
I don't really care for Rick Jones. I feel like that's a Peter David. I know I'm just burying myself today.
Well, he has. Just remember, he hasn't read the Frank Miller Daredevil. So.
Or Watchmen.
The Watchmen.
Yes.
Did you guys ever read Savage Dragon? Now that's a gem.
I tried it. Well, I tried it once.
That's a real green superhero.
It's a real green superhero.
We lost you, Aaron. Keep going. What do we got here?
Yes, the great sound effects. Like I love the black borders, but he switches in between the white border and black border, which a lot of the really good comics will do. Go full bleed with certain things. Oh, I see. I haven't even flipped through this. This is great. So we got this like nice halftone, this radial halftone in there. I actually just picked up. Do you know what frottage is? When you have like a texture and you take like a crayon or something and you just like rub on the top of it to create a texture.
The only
or
reason I know
line?
this is you brought this up last week when we were talking, and
Yeah,
I
it's
said
'cause I
no.
got 'em.
I said no. I don't know
because
what
I
you're
got
talking
'em.
about.
But I have one of these now where I can put down this circle texture and just like take a crayon or a pencil and just shade on it and create this same texture, create like a halftone inside stuff. So like that's a great use of white. Like one of the things that all the grand design people do really well is use white as an accent color, not just as a color to represent naturalism.
I learned that in 7th grade art class that we were doing some kind of color penciled project, and the kid who got an A+ used white colored pencil because no one else used white colored pencil, and the teacher was like, "Look how it brings out that accent or whatever." And we're all like, "Ooh, well, who cares?" But it was stuck in my mind of like, okay, next time we do a colored pencil project, I'm going to use white. That's the secret.
That's one of the reasons that I bought manila colored drawing paper, so
So
that
you could
that would be an option to do that with.
Colors on this are very nice.
just flipped right by the
Like,
leader.
like the
Well,
flats.
Jim Rugg. Also, it's and I don't know if it's newsprint exactly, but it's like a matte finish paper, so it's not glossy underneath. The Watcher,
Yep, Watcher with his little speech. That's a total lie.
classic
Yes.
Watcher.
I'm only here to observe. Oh shit! I did something.
Whoops.
I'm only here to observe. I can't help you or talk or tell you anything, but I'm going to.
Well, it just makes he's a part of a bigger organization, so
And they
just,
all do it.
just imagine that he's part of like medical insurance. You know what I mean? So like there's lots of employees in medical insurance who don't know what they're doing and like do the wrong thing. You know, so like you just think of the Watcher as like part of
Are you implying the Watcher is like? I love that analogy.
Wow.
where like technically he is a Watcher and he's like kind of doing what he's supposed to, but he just like messes up so much.
Watu is going to probably get litigious on this podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, I can like for somebody who like violates their prime directives so much, the only job I could consider would be like billing for medical.
If something is called a prime directive, it's meant to be abused by the primary cast of whatever you're reading or watching.
Or your primary
Leader.
care
I love that
physician.
leader.
Let me see.
I just love the leader in general
okay.
with his big head.
I like the eyes bugging out.
Not the I don't like the more modern one that they tried. I don't know if they still do it.
Was there a leader cover a few months ago that was like a venomized leader or something like that?
Yeah,
That-
part of their venom.
I was so
venomized,
confusing to me because I feel like I kind of like the leader too, but a venomized leader was very weird to me.
Yeah, Marvel was doing a month of venomized covers.
I know that they're going back to the history of Hulk here and really pulling on the artists of like so much like Jack
Oh,
Kirby.
love the Doom.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Hulk
like,
on trial.
I do kind of wish that Marvel
You're just gonna skip right by Hulk on trial.
It ties right in.
should that be the thumbnail? Let's just get a good clean one of that. But yeah, like there's so much great imagery in the early Marvel stuff. Like it just blows my mind that they don't. Yeah, I love MODOK. Look at that gray. That's such a great use of Hulk versus Juggernaut. Oh, the Weapon X. Yeah, this is going to be a blast to read through. And it's not... the one thing I was worried about that this would be very dense and like kind of hard to read because I have the Tom Scioli grand design, but man, is that dense. Have you flipped through that? The Fantastic Four?
This looks a lot less.
I did, yes. I also like when they reprint the trades for the X-Men ones. They did the large
Yeah.
format, so you could actually see much more of what was going on in the detail work.
I think that does make sense. Makes sense for this. I think this would also work great at a
Yep.
larger scale. But I'm not intimidated when I look at these pages, which is probably why Jim Rugg is my favorite of the kayfabe guys.
Some of these are like they're postage stamps. It's like 40 postage stamps over the course of a page, which I think is very cool. But you're right, very dense.
And there's something he's known for is the ballpoint pen drawings of that first appearance of the Incredible Hulk. Wow, this is just like a feast for the eyes here.
Except for those ads.
Yeah.
They should
well-
not be there.
Well, they got to make their money, right?
Well,
They can put 'em at the
Put them
end.
all at the end of the book. Yep,
Yep.
I
Or
Or
agree.
put them at the beginning. Well, like,
No.
isn't that a classic magazine move to just put all the ads in?
No,
the
put them
beginning
all
of
at the end.
Just go image style.
Do they do the end?
Image
Yeah.
do ads in the back. I like that.
Yeah, this
That
this
is-
must be when
I-
he came out on the TV.
Yeah, the-
the first animated. Well, not the first, but the more popular one, the 70s. Incredible Hulk, 80s.
80s.
Incredible
It was
Hulk?
80s because I watched it on Saturday mornings in, I don't think it was first run, but
Oh, even have like a Robert Crumb Hulk right here. It's kind of hidden a little bit. Robert
Very
Crumb.
underground comics.
Whoa, it's my guy.
look at that. Machine Man made it in.
That's a big panel too.
Yeah.
Wow, they were literally, they didn't they know they just had to put pink on the cover to get you to buy it?
They didn't have
know,
to do anything
right?
else.
I think I have that individual issue. I think it's a Sal Buscema Hulk versus Machine Man.
Hulk had some great artists.
He
Hulk
really
did.
he really did. Am I getting too close to the mic?
No, I want you further away. Like there. That's good. You're like over the mic.
Ooh, look at that. Daredevil battles Hulk. I remember seeing that somewhere. Doctor's hopeful for Daredevil. Hey, and there's another reference from Trial of the Incredible Hulk. He does become injured.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that part.
Oh, the She-Hulk.
Yes.
Those are two great pages.
I am looking forward to the She-Hulk TV show when that comes out because I like Tatiana Maslany, who did she was in Orphan Black, and she's been into other stuff too. She was in Woman in Gold.
This book is tremendous. This book is very visually
Have
rich.
you
Yeah.
looked at the other one, the X-Men ones or the Fantastic Four one?
I think I told you I bought the Fantastic Four one before I met Aaron.
Okay.
And I was
remember
like,
you said
I
that,
wasn't
yeah.
sure what Grand Design was, and then I met Aaron like a year later. I think I even bought it at Comics Etc. And then I met Aaron, and that's all he talked about was Cartoonist Kayfabe. And I was like, oh, okay, like I've got that Cartoonist Kayfabe book.
Well, the stuff they talk about is like so comprehensive, and it's like intelligent commentary. It's not like
This.
it's like, yeah, it's not like who would win in a fight, Ant-Man or the Atom? Who do you think?
Ant-Man or the Wasp?
Well, we kind of know that already. Sorry, Janet.
Ooh.
But oh yeah, look at that electricity. Oh, Doctor Strange makes an appearance. This is
Look
great.
at the typography on that left-hand panel in the electric, where it's going like vertical almost. I love
Yeah, it's all
that.
hand done too. It's all everything's by Jim Rugg. The drawing, the writing, the lettering, coloring. It's all there. Oh, I love this classic
That fly.
Doctor Strange flying too, because like that's in the Steve Ditko stuff, where he just like is flying like awkwardly.
Actually, I love the Hulk face that's right next to that in the next panel. That's tremendous.
Yeah, this is almost like a Sam Keith or something.
Sorry, it's hard
Maybe
to
a
see
little.
upside down.
It is. I'm watching on the screen here. It's hard for me to read too.
I'm trying to figure out.
yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
Like what reference that is. And then what's really cool about this too is he has citations for the things that he's referencing. That's a great Hulk face.
Yep.
I love that. It reminds me of. Do you remember there was a flashback month that Marvel did back in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yep. The -1 month.
Yeah. This feels a lot like the best of that.
Which there was some really good stuff that came out of that. That was like one of those fun filler things they did.
I don't remember it being. It was -1.
Mhm.
I remember it
Because
but,
every series probably had 0 already.
Yeah, you're probably right. And Wizard had half locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Marvel, like the reason it was successful in the 60s is because it was like that. It was like approachable but good art.
Let's look at that other cover too. So that's what.
Yeah, here's the Ed Piskor Wolverine cover with the reflection of the Hulk and the blades. So this is an inverse.
I've never seen that recreated before.
Yeah, this is an in. Oh yeah, are you talking about Wesley #1?
No, it's everywhere. Everybody's done a million covers of that copy.
Yeah, I ripped it off for
Copies of that cover even.
Wesley #1 too. Wesley has his arm up and there's a reflection of DJ Country. In his, in his
Do we want to look at
Metallica.
a new Hulk book real quick here? I'm really enjoying
Evan
this book.
Evan has been saying lots of good things about this one.
This is the new Hulk series by Donny Cates and Ryan Otley. Cliff Rathburn on colors. I have no idea, or maybe Cliff Rathburn on inks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think on inks.
I have
like
no
that.
idea what's going
What
on
was
in
it,
this
Lionel?
book.
Oh,
He-
Ghost Rider
yes.
2099. Yeah.
I was lukewarm to this when I had to order them, but now I'm looking at the cover and I'm like, I'm into
Ooh,
that.
I kind of want that. I think I'm going to pull that.
Oh, it looks like we're gonna get a 2099 episode sometime.
This is one of the things
For real.
I'll do it.
A 2099
I have a
episode.
lot of the Ghost Rider 2099s too because I got
could
them
talk
from
Spider-
To the
Ravenswood.
bitter end. I
I could
got
talk Spider-Man 2099 all day.
straight through World of Tomorrow.
I haven't read the Spider-Man ones. But I
Jot
have
that
the Ghost
down.
Rider.
All right.
So Donny Cates, Ryan Otley, Cliff Rathburn on inks. Super fun, super high energy.
We're getting distracted by the ad.
He's got an electric chainsaw. It's awesome.
Let's keep it on Hulk, baby.
electric.
So the premise with this book is Bruce Banner is in his own mind piloting a Hulk-powered starship. Whatever that means, I'm not quite sure, but it's these wacky adventures that are pretty intense and wildly drawn, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And I will say, from just a customer standpoint, the switch between Immortal Hulk to this was pretty much seamless. People seem to really be connecting with this as well. So that's
Martin, I checked in books today, which I haven't checked in books in weeks and weeks and weeks, because typically it's you and what's that other kid's name, Lucas, who do it.
Lucas's.
And I was amazed at the number of Hulk books we were bringing in.
Yep.
It is. It's very consistent with the Immortal Hulk numbers.
since like probably issue 3 of Immortal Hulk, it's been just about that.
I mean, the imagery in this is wild because it's what's the word? It's like an internal world,
Yeah.
so you can kind of
Yeah, I believe all this battling is going on in his mind.
Naughty stuff.
what like the
Keep it
spikes in his
clean,
arm.
I tell you.
but it comes with the comic shop's highest recommendation.
Yeah, so if you like Invincible, if you like Immortal Hulk, I mean, this is a nice combination of those types of things that you would want
Yeah.
to see.
If you like a crazy version of Spider-Man,
Yeah, I love the giant Wolverines that he fights and stuff like that too. Oh, and then Hulk Grand Design Madness coming out in April of 2022.
Is it just the 2 books? It's Monster and
It's-
Madness.
It's just the 2.
Yep.
I think he worked on these from the beginning of the pandemic until now.
Cool.
I think he just sent the files over for that one not too long ago. But yeah,
Well,
Obi-Wan.
all right. Oh,
He-
Obi-Wan.
He's coming back again.
Yeah.
wow,
All right.
wow.
I think
ringing
we've
endorsement.
done enough damage here to all 3 of the people that are watching at home, including Mr. Lee's wife.
She's not watching; she just lets it run.
But maybe. God bless her. Shout out to Mrs. Lee.
Good job, Lucy.
Shout out to Lucy.
There's some pregnant little people who are teenagers who she's watching instead. One of her reality shows. They're mobsters, maybe.
Unexpected.
Yeah, I have no idea which one. It's
Mobster teen moms.
Little mobster teen moms. Yes.
Pig royalty.
Pig
the
royalty.
new
What,
one.
what does that air on? Where's that streaming?
Probably the Learning Channel.
Sounds about right.
Oh, she's there. She's listening.
We knew you were.
Thank
we
you.
were just funning.
She's just trying to be like the best wife of all time. She cooked me a great dinner tonight too after working all day.
What? You're spoiling them. You shouldn't do that. What'd she make you?
Chicken, asparagus, and potatoes.
Was there a seasoning?
Hollandaise.
Oh, good on fries.
I always think of
Good on fries.
You know the song Holiday?
Holiday.
No, I'm just like holidays.
It'd be good on fries.
Holiday. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
all
I think we gotta leave now.
Aaron, do you have anything you want to shill or talk about? Or
Oh yeah, Rice. Come on out to that place where Rochester Independent Comics Expo is on Saturday. Buy some of my books. Buy some other stuff. Make it worth my while and my table fee to be out there.
It ain't free.
Yeah, and it's not free. Evan is gonna be hanging out with me there. So if you like this show and you're like, you know what, I need to experience this in real life. Drop by the table out in Rochester.
It's gonna be crowded with those 2 people who are just.
And they're gonna see I'm gonna wear the hat too.
yeah,
So
so
people
everybody
will be
knows
like,
you're the upstate Ed Piscor.
there's, I don't know if I want to be described as that exactly, but
He doesn't want you to be.
Martin, you got anything?
Just go to Vona's, get some of their hollandaise sauce and some fries. It's great. I love it.
holidays.
And we have a new hit.
on fries.
One of you 2 is making a hit song from that now. I want
right.
that by next week.
We'll think about it.
lot of
Yeah,
work.
I'll be at Rice with Aaron. Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
They'll be trapped.
We don't
with
have
me.
any tickets left, but Martin and I are gonna be putting on the Mama's Geeky Fantastical Beasts, the many dirty secrets of Dumbledore. That'll be a lot of fun.
What's
And,
behind Dumbledore number
Dumbledore.
1?
I'll take the cash. I think that's it. Aaron, do you want to take us home here?
You've been listening to the Comic Shop Stumbles Through podcast featuring me, Papa Z. Lee.
I'm Lucas Brewer.
And I'm full of regrets.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.